Good morning, everyone. So today, my most favorite topic, because I think it's extremely interesting and amusing, is how many of us, boys or girls, have come across someone who has dated somebody so inappropriately too young for them. I have come across, and I have friends actually, who definitely fall under this category. One of my most favorite instances was I met somebody for coffee, and he was great. You know what? He was funny, was good looking, 34, single dad, doing the dad thing, two boys. It was awesome. We had great chemistry, great conversation, until he decided to open his mouth and tell me how he dated a 20-year-old. He's 34, she's 20. I'm like, okay, this is going to get interesting. Yeah, he went on, and she was wonderful and they got along really, really well. However, they weren't dating anymore. I'm like, okay, well, fair enough. Like, really, are you surprised it didn't work out? Um, but then he kind of went on to keep saying how they still see each other. Right. He'd basically call her up when he wanted sex, and she readily gave it. Okay, that doesn't really sit well with me. I don't think sex is something you should just use or be taken so lightly. Men and women think very differently about sex. I'm not saying this applies to everybody, but in majority of the cases, you know what? If a guy can think of it casual, great. I don't know if a 20-year-old girl has enough life experience to handle the casual sex thing. And I asked him that, and he admitted, no, she doesn't have the life experience. That's why they didn't date anymore. Even though she was a great girl, and I'm sure she was, she did not have the life experience to handle dating somebody who was 14 years older than her, had children, and established life. There's a shocker. But no, he was okay with just having sex. And then he went on to try and justify it by saying how they got along so well, they really connected. My question to him, and I wasn't doing it in a mean way, but just very honest, was if you're getting along so well with somebody 14 years younger than you who is just out of her teenage years, what does that say about where you are in your emotional maturity? And that's a very honest question. He didn't like the question, didn't give me the answer. I don't think he could. But you know what? Something I've noticed is that people who come out of long-term relationships often end up dating somebody who is not really appropriate for them. I have several guy friends, some I've dated, not my friends there, but some guys that I've dated, that the first girl out of their long-term relationship was like 15 years younger than them. I don't understand. And here's the thing, this guy that I met for coffee, he was proud of it. He was bragging like I'd be impressed. Okay, maybe your guy buddies would be impressed, but men, do not brag to a girl that you potentially want to date how awesome it was to hook up with somebody who was 14 years your junior. What do women think when you say that? First thing right off the bat, midlife crisis. And we don't want to be anywhere near that. We're expecting you to come in on a motorcycle next or something crazy like that. So, you know what? If you got to go through your dating process, you got to go through something where you need your ego rebuilt, you need your self-confidence rebuilt. If dating somebody younger does that for you, great. But really put it in its box and in its place when it's done. I don't think it's necessarily something you want to go bragging about how you get along really great with someone who's 14 years younger than you. Makes me question where you're at, and if you can handle me emotionally with the maturity that it takes to have somebody who is your equal, who's on the same footing as you, down the same life path as you, and where you are at. If you get along with a 20-year-old, you're probably not going to get along with me, because you know what? We're not going to really emotionally connect. We're not going to have the same maturity levels. So, food for thought. We're going to continue this next week. Some just more dating stories and things I've been through, and feel free to share. It's always interesting. Bye.